So of course in New York we got this stop and frisk law that they think it's safe. Now do you think the people voted on that? Do you think every person in New York was allowed to say, you know what, yeah, I think it's cool if you just go ahead and frisk me when I'm walking on the road because I could be doing something wrong? I feel this. Police officers should have a little station with about 3 to 4 officers with a high security system of cameras set around it every about 20 to 30 miles, easy, every 10, 15 miles. Okay, let's say 20 tops, where the cops should sit there and wait for that certain district to call. So they should have a main precinct somewhere, and they should have little station districts that certain amount of cops are entitled to be in that area, or they're responsible for that area. So when calls come through, and it would go through the dispatch, and dispatch would say, you know, Unit 22, we got a issue in your area. Go to this address. Why should a cop be just sitting down the road waiting for you to go speeding by? First of all, how many times do you going speeding have anything to do with the world being a safer place? Why do the cops need to watch the roads? They can't stop you from hitting that deer that comes running out. And if somebody's kid comes running out of the road and you happen to be speeding down it, either way, they shouldn't have not been looking in the road. People need to be aware. I'm sorry for anybody who's got fatalities from children. I was in the back of a pickup truck one time and my mom was driving me to work when I was 19 years old, about 8 years ago. And this young child, as I'm in the back of the pickup truck, I'm looking around, you know, I'm smoking a cigarette, and I see kids playing up in the distance, you know, we're getting up close to them. This little kid rode out on this little scooter right out of the driveway, like out into the road, like he was pulling out into the street to get into traffic. And my mom was driving, and she thought the kid was going to stop at the last second or something, because he went right into the side of her truck. Okay, she was driving by and thinking like, oh, he'll stop at 25 miles an hour in a little side street. This kid came sliding right outside, right out. He was outside in the driveway, came right out into the road, underneath my mom's back tire on her truck. So she didn't run him over from the front. He went under the back wheel. I was sitting right there looking like, oh my God, this kid just rolled underneath the truck. My mom couldn't do nothing about it unless she would have physically stopped the truck right at the end of the kid's driveway just to wait. Like, oh, is this kid coming out into the road? Like, I guess he would have went into the road. Well, the little kid's 10-year-old brother was outside, and the little boy was only 6 years old, and the parents were all inside. The parents and the grandma were inside. The two young kids are outside playing by the street. Are you kidding me? Now look, I can't say that the kid deserved to have his leg broken because he got ran over by the truck, he got his leg broken, okay? And the people were really cool about it because they knew they were at fault, that their child was rolling out into the street and they didn't do nothing about it, nothing that they could have done. So then it goes to show, I mean, you got these cops out here that can frisk people. We got little kids getting run over, and no police enforcement is around at all. But then when you call the cops to come to you, tell me about a time where you called 911 and you needed assistance, and it took about a half hour for them to get there. Now tell me that your police station is a half hour away from you. You know every district has a police station, and within about every half hour, you could get to your police station from the farthest part of your county within about 20 minutes, and that's doing the speed limit. So when there's an emergency, do they flip their sirens on and come for you? I've seen police officers flip their sirens on to go through red lights, almost causing an accident. And we're seeing it now on the news where cops are running stop signs and red lights and recklessly driving and causing people that aren't even involved in crimes to become injured. The whole thing is, I put my mouth up to the camera because I don't really care if people know who I am or don't, because you either want to hear the words that I'm saying and listen to the opinion or not. I'm not saying that the government needs shut down and that cops need to go away. I have people that I know that are police officers that try to do the best job they can. But when a cop pulls you over, their first thing that they're supposed to do is expect that you're a criminal. They're supposed to put their hand on their gun, and they're supposed to approach you with caution, and they're supposed to expect that you have the intent to hurt them or take their life before they make any other judgment call. So do you think that's fair that when those cops approached that man on the sidewalk and they said, you know, you're selling cigarettes out here, first of all, either you got video proof of this guy selling cigarettes or not, because you're a cop. Let's face it, you need evidence. Shouldn't you have your iPhone out or something and say, okay, look, we just got him on camera taking $1 for this cigarette or something? And then the cop that puts an illegal chokehold on this big fella, at what point in time do you acknowledge that this person is under arrest and that they are indeed, that you got to worry about them, that they're a menace to society? At what point did this guy put up a fight and they had to put a chokehold on him? He was holding his hands up. He's getting a little, mad because he knows people are watching and he wants people to get their attention on it. He was getting loud so people would look over and see what was going on to him. And then if you notice that one cop pushing down on the guy's head, there's one cop that's pushing on this brother's head, man. And like, I'm a white guy, dude. I would never wish harm on anybody for another race, creed, or anything like that. It's like, look, if you're respectful to me, I would never be disrespectful to you. If I'm accusing you of something and you're trying to defend yourself, I would first give you the benefit and let you explain your story. And it's like, if I got proof otherwise, then I would say, look, here's the proof I got of you selling these cigarettes. Now what do you say? And first of all, do we need to arrest this guy? So we pay tax dollars for you to go arrest people selling cigarettes? Like, listen, why don't you go arrest Philip Morris for killing the millions of people that they killed for cancer and then lying about it? When really tobacco should be free to everybody. Nobody should be able to harvest tobacco and sell it. Same thing with a lot of stuff from the earth. You shouldn't be able to take water and sell it to me. You shouldn't be allowed to pump the oil out of the ground and say it belongs to you and sell it to me. You shouldn't be allowed to do that, certain things. Now, yeah, if you got a crop where you growing corn or wheat, yeah, you sell that. You put in the work, you planted the seeds, you helped it grow, you made sure that everything was right with the insects staying off of it. And we don't need to be genetically modifying apples with frog DNA so flies stay off of them and shit. So yeah, if you're pumping something right out of the ground, like how do I know that you're not pumping that stuff out of the ground and there's just a big pocket under the whole earth and you just got the hole long enough? I mean, it's not just underneath your piece of property, it's underneath a lot of people's property. And it's not fair for you to pump out this oil and start using it. Now the sun rays, now those are everybody's. Solar panels should be free. They should be damn near giving solar panels to people. They say the technology price has gone down for solar panels, but now we're not using them. Some people are using them, some people aren't. It was supposed to be ridiculously priced when it first came out, but then we got little solar panels and little cheap calculators. Really? Really? Solar panels and cheap calculators since the late 90s. So I mean, do you really want to sit there and believe that a Prius has got balls, okay? Don't even talk smack. It's got more balls than some of these 4-cylinder cars that they put out on the market last 5 years. So why are we going to sit here and argue about oil and money when we all know the truth? We all know the truth. We buy a gas vehicle, we buy a car from GM or Chevy, and it's got problems. Chevy and GM, they rely on you buying parts for their vehicles. They make a lot of money, but we had to bail them out. But what are they doing with their money? This is what GM and all these big companies are doing with their money. They took their money, their profits, and they hide it overseas. They write it into the company. They write it on paper that it's in the company that they lost the money, in the company that it was all people and parts and products, because they all got a big cahootspa going on. But they put their real money in the Cayman Islands. It's like Mitt Romney, and even Obama. I believe Obama has Cayman Island accounts too, whether it's right or wrong. We need to stop anybody who is an American citizen living on American soil that has money overseas in accounts that is actually able to save and hurt the American society. Well, ask yourself this again. Who do we owe money to? Who are we in debt to? Who does America owe money to? We owe China some money, but who does China owe money to? All the countries of the world owe a debt to some other country, but then it never ends there. So what is it, the Rothschilds? I mean, who are these people that say the world's in debt? And we asked for $2.7 billion. We're already trillions of dollars in debt. Who's giving us $2.7 billion? I mean, we're writing a blank check because we can do whatever we want. We need to destroy what we've already built in this country, which is an economy of monopolies. I thought that when I was a kid, I thought shit was crazy. They're telling you how it works, and the president can make a decision, and then the Senate can veto it, and the House can do this, and then the president can do executive decision, and then they can't say nothing, but they can appeal it. I'm like, it sounds like a bunch of kids arguing to me about whose dollar it is. Whose dollar is that? That's my dollar. We get that dollar. No, this is your dollar. No, we can't give this dollar to them. Everybody needs to stand up. We all need to stop doing this stuff. If we all stopped shopping for a day, if the whole country got together, some of these people down south, I really pity you guys down south, man. They took away from your schools and you don't even realize it because you're not that intelligent down there. You think unions are bad? Let me tell you something. You're down there making like what, $15 an hour? If you were in a union, you'd be making double that. You would be making double that. Unions up here get people $20 to $30 an hour on average to start out. Okay, and non-union jobs out here start out at $7 an hour. Okay, and it's the same down there south. And that's why these companies have moved down south, because they know that the people think that unions are bad. So they keep making you think that they're bad. I know a guy that makes $33 an hour driving a truck, and he's in a union, and all he has to do is pay $25 a week. That's $100 a month. But that gets him so he makes enough money in a week that I make in a month. He makes what I make in a month in a week because he's part of a union. And everybody I know that's in a union gets a cost of living check. Every 3 months, they get like an $800 check for every hour that they work times 2 for 3 months. They get 4 extra checks a year. That's like 4 extra tax returns to me. I made $24,000 last year. I paid $5,000 of it in taxes, so I got to take home $19,000. And then when I did my taxes, I paid in all that money. I got $560 back. I'm like, are you serious? But then my buddy's got a kid, and he got taxed less all year. He only paid in like $4,000 in taxes, and then he makes more money at me at my job. Come to find out, because he's got a kid, and then it turns out that in his tax return he got $6,000 back. How do you get $6,000 back from just having a kid and your girlfriend goes to school? I'm like, that's pretty messed up, bro. Or his partner. Like, so you make all this money, they take less from you, and then they give you more back because you got kids. They need to just stop taking it, period, if they're going to give it back to you, because it looks bad to everybody else. I don't got a kid. I pay more in taxes, get less back. You pay less in taxes, get more back because you have a kid. That's not right. I still need McDonald's and food too.